Have you ever experienced a reunion so powerful it brings tears of joy and hope to your heart? This is the unforgettable story of Diem and Toan, two souls torn apart by tragedy, reunited against all odds. After days of desperate searching and survival in the wild, Diem returns safely to Toan's arms. Together, they rebuild their life and farm, surrounded by the love of family, sharing moments of healing, laughter, and new beginnings. Don't miss this emotional journey of love and resilience. Hit subscribe now and join us as we dive into their heartfelt reunion. The late afternoon sun cast a warm, golden glow over the quiet countryside road, where Diem and Toan found themselves standing face to face after what felt like an eternity apart. Neither had expected this moment, an unplanned reunion in the middle of their everyday path, yet the universe seemed to have conspired to bring them together at this very second. Time seemed to slow as their eyes met, and the years of longing, the nights filled with worry, and the ache of separation poured out in silent tears. Diem's lips trembled as she tried to speak, but words failed her. All she could do was reach out, and Toan responded instinctively, pulling her into a tight embrace. The world around them faded, leaving only the two of them clinging to each other as if their lives depended on it. For Toan, the past days had been a torment of sleepless nights and restless hope. When Diem disappeared without a trace, his heart had shattered into pieces, each fragment filled with fear and helplessness. Every moment without her felt like an endless abyss, a void that swallowed his spirit. He wandered through the days, haunted by memories of her smile, her laughter, and the gentle way she would look at him with trust and love. The thought that she might be lost forever in the vast wilderness was unbearable. Yet now, as he held her close, feeling the steady beat of her heart against his chest, he was overwhelmed by a wave of relief and gratitude so profound it left him breathless. She was here. Safe. Alive. Diem's own journey had been a nightmare she never imagined she would survive. Lost in the dense forest, with only the sounds of the wild surrounding her, fear had gripped her like a cold hand. She had battled loneliness and uncertainty, fighting to stay strong when hope seemed distant. But every memory of Toan, every whisper of their shared dreams, had become her anchor in the dark. And now, wrapped in his arms, she let herself finally crying not from sadness, but from the joy of reunion, from the end of a long and painful separation. Her tears mingled with his, and they held each other as if trying to make up for all the lost time, all the moments they had been apart. The embrace was more than just a physical gesture, it was a promise. A vow that no matter what storms life threw their way, they would face them together, side by side. The air around them was thick with unspoken words, memories, and the unbreakable bond they shared. The pain of the past weeks began to soften, replaced by a warmth that only true love can bring. Their hearts, once heavy with sorrow, now beat with renewed hope and a quiet certainty that this reunion was a new beginning. As they slowly pulled apart, their eyes searched each other's faces, tracing the lines and changes that time and hardship had carved. Diem's smile, fragile but genuine, met Toan's steady, reassuring gaze. They didn't need many words, what mattered was the presence of one another, the simple yet profound fact that they were together again. The road behind them seemed less daunting, the future less uncertain. In that moment, surrounded by the soft glow of the setting sun, two souls had found their way back home, not just to a place, but to each other. Back at the farmhouse, the atmosphere was filled with a quiet joy that felt almost surreal after the long ordeal they had both endured. DM, still trembling slightly from the emotional intensity of their reunion, settled into the familiar surroundings with Toan's gentle support. As the golden light of the afternoon softened into evening, she began to share her story, the harrowing days she had spent lost in the wilderness, the loneliness that threatened to consume her, and the fierce determination that kept her going. Her voice was calm but carried the weight of those difficult moments, and Toan listened intently, his eyes never leaving hers, as if trying to absorb every detail to understand the depth of her experience. DM spoke of how the forest had felt both like a prison and a refuge, a place where danger lurked in every shadow, but also where she discovered a strength within herself she never knew she had. She told Toan about the night she spent wrapped in cold silence, clinging to the hope that someone would find her, that life would return to normal. Her stories were filled with vivid images of nature's beauty and brutality, and through them, Toan saw not just the trials she had faced, but the resilience that had carried her through. With every word, his admiration and love for her deepened, and a profound sense of gratitude swelled in his heart for having her safe in his arms once again. Together, they began to restore the farm, a symbol of their shared life and the home that awaited their return. The tasks were many, clearing debris that the untended land had gathered, repairing fences battered by storms, and tending to the animals that had waited patiently for their caretakers. Yet, instead of feeling overwhelmed, they found joy in the simple rhythms of their work. Each repaired fence post and each freshly tilled patch of soil seemed to heal a little piece of the wounds left by their separation. They laughed together over small mishaps, exchanged playful glances, and shared moments of quiet tenderness that reassured them of their bond. In those peaceful days, the farm was no longer just a piece of land, it became a sanctuary of hope and renewal. Toan and DM worked side by side, their hands intertwined with purpose and love. The hardship they had weathered gave new meaning to every chore, every meal prepared, every sunset watched from the porch. It was as if the earth itself responded to their reunion, blossoming with the promise of brighter days ahead. Amidst this renewed life, Toan took it upon himself to share the joyous news with DM's family. He contacted her mother and sister, his voice trembling with emotion as he assured them that DM was safe and sound, finally back where she belonged. The relief and happiness that followed were palpable, filling every call with tears of joy and words of heartfelt thanks. DM's family, who had spent sleepless nights praying and hoping for her safe return, now felt their hearts lighten and their spirits soar. Plans were quickly made for a family reunion, a celebration of life, love, and resilience. This connection with her family rekindled in DM a deep sense of belonging and gratitude. Knowing that her loved ones were relieved and joyful gave her strength she had thought lost. Toan's presence beside her, unwavering and tender, made all the difference, a living testament to the power of love to heal wounds and overcome adversity. Together, they embraced the future, ready to rebuild not only their farm but the life they dreamed of sharing, surrounded by the warmth of family and the unbreakable bonds that had carried them through the darkest of days. As twilight deepened into evening, the farmhouse buzzed with the warmth that only family and homecoming can bring. The air was filled with the rich aroma of home-cooked food and the soft hum of voices, laughter, and tears blending into a symphony of reunion. Diem, Toan, and their loved ones gathered around the well-worn wooden table, a place that had witnessed countless memories but today bore the weight of a new chapter. The glow of lanterns cast gentle shadows, illuminating faces that radiated relief, love, and joy. It was more than a meal, it was a celebration of survival, of enduring love, and the resilience that had brought them all together. Toan watched Diem closely as she smiled, radiant despite the exhaustion still lingering in her eyes. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, carefully wrapped box. Her eyes widened in surprise as he handed it to her. Inside was a brand new phone, and sleek, shining, a symbol of fresh starts and new connections. The old phone, cracked and battered from her time lost in the wilderness, was a silent witness to the hardships she had endured. Now, this gift was a promise that they would face the future together, connected and unbroken. Diem's fingers trembled slightly as she held the gift, her heart swelling with gratitude not just for the present, but for the man who had stood steadfast through every trial. She looked up at Toan, her eyes glistening with tears of happiness. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "For never giving up on me. For bringing me back home." Toan smiled softly, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. "You're my everything. There's no place I want you more than here, with me, with family, with love." The evening flowed gently on, filled with stories and laughter, with gentle teasing and quiet moments of reflection. Diem's mother clasped her daughter's hands tightly, tears of relief flowing freely down her cheeks. Her sister hugged her fiercely, the bond between them renewed and stronger than ever. Toan's family joined in the celebration, welcoming Diem with open arms, united in the shared joy of her safe return. Outside, the stars began to twinkle, a silent witness to the happiness blooming beneath the farmhouse roof. The hardships of the past weeks seemed to fade into memory, replaced by hope and the unshakable belief in better days to come. In that moment, surrounded by love and warmth, Diem and Toan felt a profound peace settle in their hearts, a peace born from reunion, healing, and the promise of tomorrow. As the night deepened, they made quiet plans for the future, plans to nurture their farm, to rebuild their lives, and to cherish every precious moment together. The phone, resting gently beside Diem, was more than just a device. It was a symbol of connection, of new beginnings, and of the enduring strength of love. No longer separated by distance, fear, or uncertainty, they faced the road ahead hand in hand, ready to embrace whatever life would bring. In the days to come, their laughter would fill the fields once more, their love a beacon for all who knew them. The farm, their sanctuary, would flourish under their care, much like their relationship, rooted in resilience, nourished by hope, and blossoming with happiness. The scars of the past would not be forgotten but honored as part of their journey, reminders of the strength they found in each other when it mattered most. Together, Diem and Toan had rediscovered what it meant to be whole, not just as individuals, but as a family reunited. And in that rediscovery lay the truest gift of all, the unbreakable bond of love, shining brightly against the darkest nights and lighting the way toward a future filled with joy.